Well, good day, everybody. You're watching Beyond the Test Drive, and this week we've been driving Mazda's 2024 MX-5 Miata. We do have the RF version of this, and another unique thing that you don't see a whole lot of is that we do have the Grand Touring trim. So new colors for 2024. One of them is this Aero Gray. Love to know what you guys think of this color. Or is that Zircon Sand that they also introduced? The other thing Mazda has done is they've introduced some new wheels. They don't do this too often. They just did that on the CX-70, but I do like these. They're multi-spoke, but they have an optical illusion where you do not see the blacked out part. So they kind of look cool when they're rotating. Now, before we dive into the details, I would like to thank you all for pressing play today, and for our subscribers, a super mega thanks. We really do appreciate you. And if you are new here, check out everything on our channel. If you like what you see, we'd love to have you along for the ride. Now, this RF, I do have the top up right now because I think that is one nice thing about the RF, which is retractable fast back. It looks awesome with the top up, so I do like that. This one here is sitting at just shy of $39,000. There is the Club Sport trim in the RF, which actually comes standard with the Recaros and the BBS and the Brembo brakes. That actually jumps into the 40s. So these things are getting a little pricey, but I will tell you, with this tan leather, that you get in the Grand Touring, it does, I feel like this is a pretty premium feeling car. This does have about 5 cubic feet of a trunk. I don't like the fact that you kind of have to feel around here for this, and then it doesn't spring open. So I know you can buy some retrofit kits to spring this open. Yeah, you can put an overnight bag in here. You do have no spare tire, of course, but you do have a fix-a-flat kit right there. This is where you will put your 91 octane fuel. We're not even going to talk about fuel economy for this thing because it is excellent. You're going to do way over 30 out on the highway, and you're going to average, it's just really good. It's a guilt-free sports car driving experience. Now, in addition to the new colors, Mazda has restyled the front and rear lighting. It's really, really subtle. The improvements are good. It definitely sharpens it up a little bit. Now, the other thing that Grand Touring does come with, it comes with the famous Mazda adaptive lighting. These will swivel all over the place. You know, it's a nice little feature. Of course, you get the older rubber button on here for unlocking and locking. I'll go ahead and hop in. It does take a little bit of yoga to get into a Miata, and then we'll put the top down and take another look at it. But overall, same interior pretty much as you've seen for many years now, and it just works. It's just very, very clean. It's very simple. It's very elegant, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. But the stitching looks great here. This tan looks good. Again, if you jump up in past the Sport, you're going to get the body colored interior door sills here, which also look pretty nice. But let's do the fun part. Let's start this up and put the top down. Let me just stop it right there. Let me close it up because there's one thing I do like about this. This is cool. This claw. You do not want to mess with the claw. And if you're driving, I think there is some slow speed that you can do this at. With the top down, you have this opening here. And again, out on the road, what we're going to see is that wind, this thing just manages wind so well. No changes in 2024 with the engine. Still 181 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque. Beautiful engine compartment. That 4-cylinder is sitting longitudinally, driving those rear wheels. And what are you going to say about this? This is just bulletproof. You can hammer this thing, and yeah, it loves to rev. 7,500 RPMs, which is what makes the Miata charming. Okay, some other things in 2024 that are big is that you do have wireless CarPlay, which is great. And if I just put it on here, it's a touch screen and you can reach it, or you can do this. So I like the fact that it's wireless because most of the time you're doing short trips in this anyway. You don't have to get your phone out, which is nice. However, it would be nice if there were a wireless charger right here. This is just made for your phone. It almost fits, not quite. That's just how small this car is. You do get this silly navigation on the RF trim, which is completely not needed, but that's where your SD card goes. And you get 2 USB-Cs And then this little compartment right here is pretty much for your sunglasses. This is not that large. You can put some coins in there, your sunglasses. Remember, no glove box here on the Miata, but you do get this little compartment here for your paperwork. No changes in the cup holder situation this year. Again, you got two of them. They can go here. Again, you can see I have my coffee in this one, which for a single driver works pretty well. But that's your home base for your two coffee cups. As a driver, you're not going to be able to reach that too well. That's why you want to put it over here. As a passenger, this is it. There's no seat adjustment too much. You can adjust the inclination of the back, but you're not going to put this back and sleep. You still have this big intrusion into your foot area here. And as you can see, as a passenger, I can reach my cup holder here and leave this for the driver, but it's still a little annoying with my knee there. We do have this little tiny storage compartment here, so that's another place for you to put some stuff. We do have seat heaters here. Again, that's kind of in all trim levels, and you do need those for those cool mornings with the top down. This does have auto climate control. We have nice things on this RF, like this rimless mirror that auto dims, and on your outside mirrors here, you get auto dimming, which is very nice. Because again, this car sits low. You do get headlights in your mirrors a lot easier when you're sitting down this low. Oh, the other new thing for 2024 is you get a dedicated track mode, which is going to sort of turn down the stability control. It's not going to take it completely off, but you can turn stability completely off right there. So track mode there. As far as vents go, got the round one here. You got sort of this little space filler. Mazda's done a good job of sort of blending this in. Just a little bit of tiny piano black. Not much piano black in here, which is good. Everything is just, it's decent. It's decent quality. Again, this thing has been built now for so many years. Mazda is just assembling this like a watch at their factory right now. Okay, let's do what this Miata wants to do, and let's go for a drive. And I do love that little, you know, when you start a Miata, MX-5 Miata, I just love that little blip it does on the startup. Apple CarPlay just hooks up immediately via the wireless there. If I do want to plug it up, I do have my cord here. This has been Miata week. Let me tell you, the weather, oh my gosh, this has been automotive nirvana this week with this weather and this car. It makes me just want to go for a drive for no reason whatsoever. I was looking for excuses to take this out. Also, family members, the better half of Beyond the Test Drive, wanted to get out in the Miata, and that's one of the things with the MX-5 is that it appeals to a much broader, it appeals to a very wide demographic. Mazda has done a good job of, you know, this is tailored for the enthusiast, the folks that just want to do some what I would call motoring, you know, British type motoring, open air out on country roads. And for some folks, they just want a cute little car that's cool to drive. So it's, you know, all age groups love the MX-5 Miata. It's my #1 way to spend a day. And this morning, again, beautiful day. I can't imagine a better way to start the day off with just a coffee, this open air RF, and this road and weather. Some other things about the RF. Okay, so between this and the convertible, the soft top, this is going to be, I don't know, 150, 160 pounds heavier, which kind of makes sense because you do have all that metal around you. But you actually do lose a little headroom here in the RF, about a ½ inch. And again, the Miata, one of its downsides is that a lot of the population, especially on the male side, cannot drive this thing. They are just too big. For me, this is one of the advantages of not being tall, is I fit perfectly in the Miata. Nice thing about the RF, and I'm experiencing it right now, is there's almost no air in here. I hear the air over my shoulder. Maybe the mics are picking that up. One of the is you can control the amount of air in here just by cracking this window. Now you know, this is very indistinguishable from the soft top as far as the amount of air you're getting, your hair blowing all over the place. This is where it's at right here. We'll mention pricing in general. You know, the RF is going to start out at about $3,000 more just to get this hard top. But the RF club again is over 40 because it comes standard with the Brembos. If you go down to the soft top, you can do the soft top club. Okay, I got to do our uphill dig here. Okay. Oh yeah. That's just, there's nothing like that. There really isn't. But yeah, back to pricing real fast. That is, you know, the thing, you can get the soft top club without the Brembo package for right around 34-ish. And I think that's the sweet spot for the buy. You know, you can do the sport, do your own differential. If you're like a wrencher and you just want to start with a blank slate, that sport starts in at under 29. But I think the club soft top is the buy without the Brembos, because the Brembo package now with the Recaros, the Aero kit, that's $4,000. That just seems like a lot. So again, and the Grand Touring in that soft top I think is pretty good. But if I'm gonna do the Grand Touring, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get this hard top, pop it out at 38K. Yeah, that's a lot of money, don't get me wrong. So yeah, the leather seats definitely make this feel like it rides better. This is a pretty jittery ride, very short wheelbase car, but you know, double wishbone suspension. This is a super high quality sport tuned suspension, and Mazda has done some real tricks here. You know, it's not harsh over these impacts, like right here over these. Yeah, it's very, very comfortable. I did not realize how jittery, hold on. I did not realize how jittery this was until I downloaded some footage from a morning drive of this, and I just saw the camera just jittering around. I should have fixed that today, so take the jitter out of this. Now, even with traction control on, it'll let you squirm that back, adding to the fun, but it's not so much power. So a great car to learn on here. But let's just talk about this transmission. And you know, there's a whole bunch of talk of save the manuals, save the manuals. Well, you know, most of the manuals that have been out there over the last 20 years stunk, so they needed to go away. However, this is what they should all be like. It's just something like the Integra, something like the Civic Type R, the GR86. Those manuals are excellent, excellent. They're definitely carrying the banner for saving the manuals, but this is the gold standard right here. And it's everything from the throws to the clickiness, how it falls to your hand with my elbow right here. And then they put this nice round ball knob at the top. Everything is just ideal. You know, I really want to get a Miata just to teach people how to drive manuals, because it's so easy. This will be one of the easiest cars to learn on. The clutch uptake is also very easy. It starts at the bottom, and it's just really forgiving on the clutch uptakes. Now, they do have an automatic, and if you just, you know, if the manual's not for you, but you want this open air British, you know, countryside touring experience, but this is what sets it over the top for me. Okay, everybody likes 0 to 60. I don't know why, because in the Miata it doesn't matter. It's 6 seconds, 5.5, but I'll go ahead and put it in race mode there. So I'm not going to dump the clutch too bad, and I'm not going to be very smooth. Okay, I could have revved it to 7,500. I shifted it right at 7,000. 0 to 60s in this. Right at 60, you need that third gear shift because of the rev limiter. You're going to hit at 7,500. You can wind this out pretty good, and you're still going to be at reasonable speeds that aren't going to get you or anybody else hurt. You know, safety first on public roads. and you can wind this thing out, and it's just, you don't have to be going fast. Like a turn like this, look at that body lean. There's so much body lean there, but it is so much fun and engaging. You kind of feel the bolster pick up your side, and you can almost connect that feeling right to those rear tires. And that's just a beautiful thing, which means let's start talking about the 2 mechanical changes for 2024. Has to do with that rear limited slip differential. Again, more for people who are going to track, autocross, drive their cars really, really hard, get that back end around. And really what Mazda's done there is they've made this a little less tail happy in hard driving track situations. A little bit more controllable for those driving this really, really hard. Some folks, I mean, some good drivers are not going to like that. They're going to like the older, more playful differential the ND2 had. The other thing is the steering. Mazda has a new rack. I do kind of think that just without driving the other one back to back, that this is better. It's perfectly weighted. It's fairly firm, no play on center at all, and it's just good. I mean, this is just so good. Yeah, so the steering rack is definitely improved. Nothing was wrong with the old rack, by no means. All right, okay, 6 miles per hour, that's the limit. You might as well stop. So here we go. Woohoo! Oh, so sad. However, I will tell you, once you put the top up, for some reason I feel like this feels a little bit more airy inside. I don't know why, than the soft top, even though this is actually down. There's less headroom, but I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that this is so I don't know. Anyway, let's go out to the highway. And you can put the top down on the highway. Again, it's fine. 70 miles per hour. It gets a little crazy. Go ahead and turn our traction control back on. Let her rip. All right, 6th gear right now, 70 miles per hour. A little less than 3,000 RPM, settles down nice. I measured 74 dB in here, so right up, I don't think this is a whole lot quieter than the soft top. I think the bigger difference is that there's less wind noise. This definitely feels like a real car out here on the highway as far as the wind noise. Again, the seats are so comfortable and the motor is so responsive. Up here to 80, a little over 3,000. And this is where this new steering rack is, so I think this is where it makes a big difference out here on the highway. Not darty at all, but there is no play at all. Just a little bit of nudge. I mean, that's the tiniest nudge to the left. Not darty though. Yeah, very good. So yeah, very comfortable steering out here on the highway. I should mention, I really like this feel of this wheel. Definitely better than some of the other Mazda wheels. This wheel is very big, by the way. I don't know why they have such a big wheel, but it's the Mazda wheel. But the other nice charm about the MX-5 is this gauge cluster. I don't know, you're looking out, you're seeing the beautiful scenery out on a country road, you see the gauges, this tack in the middle. It's all part of the charm, it's all part of the experience. Now we do have the Bose 9 speaker, you get that on the Club, the RF. 9 is a, you know, it doesn't matter. There's one down there, tweeters, there's 4, and there's 2 in each headrest here. You know, it actually sounds pretty good. You do have the, what's the Pilot or whatever that adjusts the volume up and down. For a convertible or a Miata, that's a very useful feature to have the volume go up and down with cabin noise. So I do like that in here. Don't usually use it in the other Mazdas too much. It sounds pretty good. You can listen to the stereo with the top down, with the top up, of course, it sounds great. So yeah, this actually travels, I think, a lot better than the soft top, just because the wind buffeting is just less apparent. Now let's go over to something like a Mini Cooper or a GR86. They're going to be a little bit more comfortable out on the highway. I measured about 74 dB in that GR86. It's just that that's all road noise. It's very little wind buffeting at all. So yeah, you could short road trips, this is fine. This is fine. The only thing I would complain about, there's absolutely zero in the way of storage in here. There's no door pockets. You know, I've actually used this little guy here to hold the phone. So yeah, there's, you know, if you got a bag of chips, a drink, you know, just over time you're going to accumulate things that there's really nowhere to put them. All right, well, there you go. Hopefully this gave you a sense of what this RF Miata is like, what this new paint color is like, what this Grand Touring leather interior is like. It's really hard to be too critical of the Miata given its purpose in life. This has really been a blast, and really thankful to be able to spend the week with it with this great weather. But we want to know what you think. Please leave your questions and comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, have a great day, morning or evening, wherever you may be.